Thanks, Justine, for that introduction, and thank you all for joining us here today. I'm so excited to actually now jump into a live demo of our agents with you all. It's going to work in three parts. First, we'll talk about how Jemmy generates lists of prospects with signals who are most likely to convert. Second, we'll talk about how we use those signals to actually generate content at scale. Third, we'll talk about how we integrate our agents into your existing systems, your existing reps' day-to-day workflow. So, how does Jemmy know who to go after? It all starts off, as Christian mentioned, with signals. With Jemmy, we can now actually automatically build and prioritize lists using 600 plus signals and factors of fresh, high quality data that UserGems provides. We'll start off with Jemmy by saying, what is the average ICP of your customers? And what are the most similar accounts out there to that average ICP using a combination of firmographic information and those criteria I mentioned earlier? Then the signals start getting layered in at the account at people level. Jemmy will identify, are there things like, a customer competitor at the account, meaning this account competes with one of your customers. It's therefore that much more likely to convert, especially if you actually sprinkle that throughout the messaging sequence. Is there funding at the account indicating there's budget to spend? Is there a footprint of past champions, contacts, and users who are growing at the account familiar with your product and brand? Is there new promotions or executives at the account who are spending their budget within the first 3 months, and so on and so forth? Jemmy can identify all of these signals in part one and identify who's most likely to convert. Part two is where the fun stuff happens. Let's use all those signals together to create AI content that actually converts. For example, for Alex, I'm seeing Alex is a senior markups manager, a closed lost op contact, and here are the signals that Jemmy's actually identified as the specific reasons to engage. Alex is a closed lost op contact from his past companies evaluated us before. There's other past champions like Courtney at the account. There's actually 21 total for us to mention and play with. There's actually a customer competitor signal at the account, and so on and so forth. Jemmy actually uses that information and sprinkles it throughout a recommended sequence, and we'll start to see that really come to life in these highlights. We'll first thank Alex for taking a look at UserGems in his past gig, mentioning that previous company. We'll start to try and tailor messaging towards Alex's role as a marketing operations manager by generating a pain point and value prop statement that really resonates with Alex. For example, the buzz with other marketing leaders is that their channels aren't currently hitting their goals. We'll layer in that mention of the other past champion at the account, Courtney, who he might know, and he can connect with Courtney and start to figure out if UserGems is a fit. We'll layer on those signals throughout the rest of the sequence as well, saying our customer competitor signal in the second email there, saying a similar company that you might have served and done this for to catch their attention, and actually calling back to the previous mention of Courtney as well. And last but certainly not least, it looks like we're actually mentioning that total number of folks to say, hey, there's actually a large footprint at the account, and so on and so forth. Using all these reasons to engage, catching the attention of the prospect, delivering messaging that actually converts. And it doesn't truly stop there. Once we've generated all that great content, part three comes in. How do we actually serve this up to your reps so they have the help they need to generate that pipeline using this information? And that's where our workflow engine will really start to come into play. It's a really simple process for us. 3 steps. Get this record into your CRM, of course, the system of truth. Generate that AI content at scale for every single one of those prospects using those messaging. Add scheduling and limits on exactly the amount of prospects that you want to go after at each account for each user's mailbox, etc. And then integrate it to your sales engagement platform of choice to make sure, again, that we're working with your existing systems, your outreach, your sales loft, your Gone Engage, et cetera, et cetera. UserGems makes it a point to make sure that we integrate with all the leading sales engagement platforms out there because you know how important a cohesive tech stack is. And that's why we've integrated our agents into your existing systems to actually help your reps out on a day-to-day basis. It doesn't stop there. We really wanted to make sure we created a great experience for your reps as they generate pipeline. And that's where our Copilot extension kind of comes into play. I'm over here in Outreach now, for example, where I can see in Outreach that I actually have a generated list of Jemmy tasks that Jemmy has served up to me. And for example, if I click on someone like Jesse Lott, I'll actually see the UserGems Chrome extension overlay that serves up a message ready for me to send directly from Outreach. I can edit it, tweak it, adjust it as I see fit using the similar kind of structure of reasons to engage combined into messaging that works. And I can actually even tell Jemmy what was the quality of the email, what's some additional feedback that's going to train the model on a go forward basis to make sure that I'm training Jemmy on an ongoing basis. And so really the goal for us is deliver messaging that works, use signals to do so, generate a pipeline out of it, and make sure your reps have a great experience at the end of the day doing so. And so we're tremendously excited to get this into y'all's hands. Please certainly let me know if there's questions in the chat or connect with your CSM to figure out how you can actually implement some of these solutions to start supercharging your pipeline. But thanks for listening, and we're very excited to kind of get this in y'all's hands.